Hello, hope you're having a great day. Now this morning I've been listening to a podcast from a guy called Dr. Rangan Chatterjee. I've never watched any of his stuff before, and basically he's got a guest on called Bruce Lipton, and they're talking about the difference between the conscious and the subconscious mind. And Bruce is also explaining how a lot of the programming that controls who we are essentially is done in the first 7 years of life. You know, when you're a kid and you're sort of, absorbing knowledge, and you've also got a more creative mind. That's why kids are more playful and stuff. And yeah, he's saying that a lot of the programming that controls who we are is done in the first 7 years, which kind of explains why sometimes habits are harder to break, and also explains how children are able to, learn easier and absorb knowledge. Whereas when you're an adult, it's more about just repeating stuff over and over again to learn them. They're also talking in this podcast about how linked the body and mind are, to the point where, it's universally accepted that your thoughts can control your body chemistry, right? If you're scared, you sort of feel it in your gut. Fear can make your body release more cortisol, etc., etc. Well, they go deeper than that, to the point where they're talking about how, your thoughts can actually decide whether you get cancer or not. And it's funny to think that a lot of the thoughts, about 60%, I think they said, 60% of your thoughts have actually come from other people, from other influences. So it's kind of scary to think that in a roundabout way, what you hear from other people can cause you to get a disease or not. And I've always had this theory where, I accept that the mind and body are so interlinked, like more than we appreciate. And look, there must be a certain percentage of people that, go and get diagnosed with cancer, for instance, and they get told, there's nothing we can do, you're going to die in 6 months. Now, that knowledge coming in, by a doctor, someone who you trust, telling you that there's no way you're going to be cured and that you are going to die, in a roundabout way, that is going to control your body biology and then potentially control whether you end up beating that cancer or not. And that explains why certain people out there are able to go and get cured from cancer, even though they've been told that they're definitely going to die. And yeah, they kind of confirmed in this video that theory that I've sort of always had. And they were even saying things like, there's certain cancers where, if you've got a certain gene or whatever, you're probably going to get that cancer. Well, this Bruce guy is explaining that, genes don't cause cancer. There has to be a trigger, which is normally down to your programming or, your lifestyle, how you treat your body, etc., etc. So, yeah, really interesting. I'm a firm believer that our minds and bodies are interlinked, more than we appreciate. And that's why, for me, the way to stay clean, the way to live a happy life, a clean life, is to focus on making my body into the strongest body that I can. It's all about body and mind, and also spirituality, which I just see as how you do or don't allow your mind to control what you're doing. Because if you allow it to, your mind will draw you away from essentially who you are at your essence, which is a being that's beyond and beneath thought. So yeah, really interesting podcast. Definitely go and check out both of those guys on YouTube. I'm going to be looking for other videos that have been made by those guys. Yeah, really, really interesting. Now, someone was actually asking me in the comments of the video before last about my journaling. I always mention that every day I write in a journal, and I have sort of explained before what I write in the journal, but yeah, I'll explain it again now. I'm not going to show you what I write in my journal because I feel that that's personal. And what I will say is there's loads of videos on YouTube where people describe what they write in their journals. There is different types of journaling, but I just sort of adopted one that I heard from someone, and yeah, I've just carried on doing that. And basically, the first thing I write is 3 things that I'm grateful for. And I don't give it much thought, basically whatever comes into my head really in the morning. 3 things that I'm grateful for. It doesn't matter if I've already written it another day. It doesn't matter if it's something particularly significant, just 3 things that I'm grateful for in life. But obviously, even though I don't give it much thought in terms of choosing which ones I write, whilst I'm writing them, I do, focus on thinking about those things. For that sort of couple of seconds that I'm writing each one down, I am, thinking about how grateful I am for those things. Below that, I'll then write 3 things that I'm proud of, or 3 things that were good that I did, the day before. A lot of the time, that could be just, releasing a video, going to the gym, eating clean, anything. Again, doesn't matter if you're repeating yourself like every day, it doesn't matter. Don't give it too much thought. Don't get into the habit where you're sitting there like thinking ages of what to write. Just write 3 things that you're proud of from the day before. Then I always write at least 1 thing that I'm not proud of. So if there's a day where, like the other day I had Haagen-Dazs, for instance, I'll write that down. Or if there's a day where, I didn't go to the gym, I'll write that down. Or, if I didn't release a video, I'll write that down. Anything. Then below that, I just literally write out whatever's in my mind at the time. Just fill the rest of the page with, whatever comes to mind. It could be something that's bothering me. It could be me just writing a few sentences to sort of give myself a kick up the arse. Anything. Like literally, you just spill out what's in your mind. And yeah, I find that the journal is definitely a very key step in my routine, and a key step in keeping me on the straight and narrow, keeping me on track. If I sort of analyse why I think journaling works for me, well, the first thing, I'm writing down what I'm grateful for. And even in like the 12 steps and all that, with giving up drugs, they say that you need to, be grateful for what you've got. So, gratitude is really powerful, for everyone, but, especially for drug addicts. So, writing down 3 things every day that you're grateful for means that first thing in the morning, straight away, you're focusing on gratitude, and gratitude is a good thing. Then below that, I'm writing down 3 things that I'm proud of. You're acknowledging the good things that you do. If you want to be a happy, healthy person, you need to be able to acknowledge the good things that you do. A lot of people that are going through mental health issues or are drug addicts, like deep down they sort of hate themselves and they don't see the good things that they do. So it's important every day to acknowledge the good things that you've done. And then obviously I write something that I'm not proud of. It's always good to acknowledge the not so good things that you've done, because you don't want to get into a habit where you can't realise that, certain things you did the day before weren't ideal, right? And then, below that, just writing out, whatever comes to mind. That for me is just another example of me constantly watching and listening what my mind's doing and saying. I bang on about it all the time, that I see my mind as a sort of separate entity to me. I don't see my mind as me. I see it as just a voice that you can sort of choose to get drawn into or not. It's a voice that's not always your friend. It's a tool to use at times, and it can be your friend, but then on the other hand, sometimes it can be literally your enemy. So, writing out whatever comes to mind in that moment is another way of me sort of just getting used to and practicing and continuing to listen to what my mind's saying. So yeah, I hope that sort of clears up how I go about journaling. But as I say, feel free to go and check out some other videos on YouTube on the subject of journaling. You'll find that, it's another one of these things, like meditation, like regular exercise, that a lot of successful people do. All your film stars, all your millionaires and billionaires, they all sit down at some point during the day. Some people do it a couple of times a day and, journal, And, it literally takes a couple of minutes. And I think everyone should be doing it, to be honest. Now, this morning, I actually managed to get up at 7:30. In fact, I was laying there from 7:20 and I got up before my alarm even went off. And it has been a struggle. My mind has really, really been trying to make me go back to bed. Even after I come in here and wrote my journal, I had my water, came in here, wrote my journal, done my meditation session. Even then, like my mind sort of fantasizing about, maybe I should go back to bed. In fact, towards the end of my meditation session, I started feeling a little bit sick. Minorly, I just had a little bit of a, feeling in my stomach. Maybe it was just, all the water I've just drunk or whatever. And my mind was telling me, yeah, maybe you do need to go back to bed. Maybe you're ill, So it's just, my mind making excuses and trying to make me go back to bed. Now, I did actually struggle to sleep last night. I didn't get to sleep until about 1 a.m. So that's probably meant that I am more tired this morning. But, I've broken that cycle now. The last couple of nights, or last few nights, I've ended up going to sleep late, even though I've gone to bed quite early because of the heat. And last night, it wasn't that hot, but, my body's already got into the cycle of going to sleep late and getting up late. So today I've broken the cycle, I'm now at the point where my mind is not trying to tell me go back to sleep. The walk around the block really did wake me up, and now I'm ready for the day. So, yeah. The morning is a battle for me every morning, and it always will be, and this morning's battle was hard and probably only just about won. Anyway, in terms of my workout, I'm on legs in the gym, but I'm trying not to do what I'm doing in the evening in the gym in the mornings, which was what I've always done, so I don't want to tire my legs out by doing legs here at home. I'm trying to kind of switch it up a little bit, and one of you guys actually advised me to do that recently in the comments. So I think I'm probably going to crack on with some back stuff, and then leave my legs nice and fresh for the gym later. Alright, so I'm going to do bent over rows, followed by some of these just on this side because this lat is smaller than the other side. Then I'll do some deadlift, and then I'll just do some crunches, which I know isn't technically back, but... Yeah. Well, this is turning out to be another day where I basically planned to spend most of the day out. I was going to start off by doing some bits on the car that's at home here. Then I need to go over to the area where my other garages are because I need to get something done to a part that's over there. But it's now 1:30. I've been busy on my MacBook getting loads of stuff done. And my girlfriend Kat's just got back from the gym. She went on her own today, and she said it's trying to rain, so maybe I won't end up going around the garage and working on the car. But we are thinking that maybe we should get rid of some of this rubble that's in the bags out there, especially if it's going to rain. So I'm going to load as much of that as I can into the boot of the car before it potentially rains and the bags will get wet, and we'll take it. All right, so back from our little trip to the dump. My girlfriend Kat's little Fiesta done very well as a van. We haven't quite got rid of all the rubble, but actually got more than I was expecting in the boot of that car. And we didn't just fill the whole car up because the rules say that you can only have a boot full, otherwise they turn away the whole load. So one more load in a few days, although it does say you're supposed to wait a month. All the rubble will be gone. But now I'm knocking up some lunch. I'm having some salmon. This is chili flavoured salmon, already cooked in the packet. Just mix that with some lettuce and some feta cheese. Gonna throw some lemon juice on it and some Caesar salad dressing. But I really fancy a fried chicken wrap as well. So being a bit greedy for my lunch, but gonna need some energy later for my leg session in the gym anyway. And I will of course be having some eggs with my lunch and some coffee. It is now 5 to 8 in the evening, and my girlfriend Kat has gone to do her night shift. And I've just been chipping away at various things on my MacBook. I haven't been super busy, if I'm honest. I've spent some time just, looking at videos on YouTube. And now it's time for me to pull my finger out and get myself to the gym. I am going to have myself a cup of coffee because I just feel a bit low energy. Now, I mentioned in the last couple of days that I haven't been feeling, 100%, and, I just need to push through this. I definitely don't want to entertain the idea of not going to the gym. It is leg day this evening, which is normally really intense. So, if I have to take it a little bit easy, then so be it. But I'm definitely going. In fact, I've already got myself ready. All right, so I've made it to the gym, and if I sit here and allow myself to, I could say that I'm not really up to it. But the way that I see what's going on in my mind, as a separate entity from myself, I look at it and say, no, my mind is trying to tell me that I'm not up to it. And, when you're in these situations where, you're dreading something or you're really not up for something, your mind will always find evidence of why you're not up for it. And it will normally drag you into the future or the past to prove its point. So for instance, I could sit here and start imagining how hard it's going to be doing this leg session because I'm not up to it. Or, I could start thinking back to times in the past where leg sessions were really hard as evidence for my mind to prove to me that I'm not up to it. But I know that past and future aren't real. The only thing that's real is the present moment. So if I focus on the present moment right now, my legs aren't falling off. I'm quite capable of going in and doing an hour's worth of exercise. It's not going to kill me. I can sit here in one of my classic cars, grateful that I've got a car to drive me to the gym, grateful that I've got a lifestyle that allows me to go to the gym. Some people are forced to stay at home with their kids or whatever, or some people are forced to do 16-hour days at work, so if you bring yourself back to the now and focus on the positives in your life, you can always overcome your mind trying to drag you into the past and future and drag you into negativity. And that's just a mini example of how I sort of analyse my mind all the time. So, part of me kind of isn't looking forward to doing this leg session. Part of me is saying that, I'm not really up to it. But in reality, I know it's got to be done. And I'm going to go and get it done because I know that once it's done, I'll feel a whole lot better than if I didn't go and do it. So I'm going to go and do my leg session. I'm probably going to go a bit easy on my warm-up because yesterday it just felt like my body, was failing me, And, I'm doing a leg session, so I don't want to wear my legs out before I jump on the machines. Then I'm going to commit to doing 4 machines. So leg extension, leg curl, and the calf raises. But I'll probably, before all them, I'll do the leg press. Alright, so just got back from an awesome leg session in the gym. So glad I went, so glad that I kept that promise to myself to go, even though, my mind was trying to tell me that I wasn't really up for it. Actually saw a really inspirational woman in the gym. She was, quite frankly, huge, really overweight. To be fair, a lot of it was in her bum, but really huge woman in the gym, and she had a walking stick, so she was literally taking a few minutes to move from one machine to the other, even though they were just a few feet apart. And she was doing legs as well. And do you know what, to all those people out there that have messaged me to say, I want to go to the gym but I'm worried that people are going to look down at me, or I don't want to go to the gym because I'm out of shape and I've never been before, don't let that be an excuse. That woman tonight in there at 9:30 at night, overweight, can't even walk without a walking stick, she's in there putting the effort in. Maybe she's just had like an operation or something and she's just got big recently. I don't know what her story is, or maybe she's been overweight for most of her life. She looked to be about 60 years old as well. So there's literally no excuse for anyone out there, no matter what level you're at. And it's just inspirational to see people like that in the gym. What right have I got to feel like I can't be bothered to do a leg session when there's a woman like that in the gym? And looking wider out there at life, what excuse have people got to be losers, be wasters, getting drunk every day like our neighbour upstairs, and unnecessarily talking loud so that it causes us distress and we have to turn our TVs up. What excuse of all these negative people out there that just refuse to better themselves in any way and would rather bring other people down? The kind of people I'm talking about, negative people, the kind of people that I now try and stay away from. What excuse has anyone got, when there's an overweight elderly woman in the gym at 9:30 doing her best when she can barely walk? Really, really inspirational to see that woman in the gym. Sorry if that was a bit of a rant, but it just puts things into perspective. She's not allowing her mind to hold her back. She's pushing through, and I wish her well. I'm sure she's gonna get results, and those results will be deserved. Anyway, I need to have a shower. Also need to have something to eat, and it's already really late. Part of me wants to dive into editing the video that I'm currently working on for the car channel, because I really want to try and get that out tomorrow. And then the day after, I will need to do the bits on my car that I've been trying to do for the last couple of days, which will mean that I'll have enough footage to finish that video, which will be the video after the one that I'm working on now. So yeah, look, I'm going to end this video here. I hope it's been somewhat useful or motivational. As always, feel free to say hello in the comments and we'll have a chat, or do feel free to message me through Facebook, Instagram or email if you feel that having a chat with me is going to benefit you in any way. But other than that, I'll speak to you tomorrow.